You know, all the stuff on our planet? Well, this is it. We have a limited number of atoms. So how does life just keep going? How is it possible that for billions of years, new things can grow, live, and thrive? Well, the answer is one of the coolest and most powerful ideas in all of science: recycling. And no, I'm not talking about your plastic bottles. This is something way, way more fundamental.
To really get our heads around this cosmic recycling program, we've got to follow the journey of a single, tiny atom. And that whole adventure starts with a pretty simple question about something you might just stumble across on a walk in the woods.
So take a look at this mushroom. It's just doing its thing on the forest floor, breaking down an old log. Now here's the question. Could a single atom from that mushroom eventually become a part of your body? I know, it sounds a little weird, right? Maybe even impossible. But stick with me here, because the answer reveals something truly profound about how our world works.
And the very first clue to solving this puzzle is right there with the mushroom itself. See, fungi are nature's absolute master recyclers. Their whole job is to break down dead things, unlocking all the matter they're made of. And that process, that's the starting line for one of the most incredible journeys an atom can take. To follow it, though, we first need to meet the cast of characters in this global story.
Okay, so in pretty much any ecosystem, whether it's a huge forest or a tiny puddle, there are three main roles being played. You can think of them as the producers, the consumers, and the decomposers. Each one has a super critical job to do to keep the whole show running. So let's meet them.
First up, we've got the producers. These are the go-getters, the chefs of the natural world. We're mainly talking about plants here. Through that amazing process of photosynthesis, they take really simple non-living stuff like sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide from the air, and they whip it up into energy-rich food. They are the foundation for, well, almost all life on Earth.
Next up, the consumers. Hey, that's us. And, every other animal on the planet. Consumers like us can't just make our own food from sunlight. So, to get our energy and the atoms we need to build our bodies, we have to, well, consume other living things. It doesn't matter if you're eating a salad or a cheeseburger, you're getting your matter and energy from something that was once alive.
And finally, we have the decomposers. These guys are the unsung heroes of the whole system. We're talking about fungi and bacteria. They're the cleanup crew. They feast on everything nobody else wants: dead plants, dead animals, all the waste. But their job is so much more than just tidying up. By breaking all this stuff down, they release the atoms that were locked inside, making them available again for the producers to use. They are the ones who close the loop.
All right, so we've met our key players. But here's the thing. They don't just exist on their own. The real magic, the beauty of it all, happens when you see how they're all connected in this seamless, incredible system.
So think of each player, the producer, the consumer, and the decomposer, as its own little factory. It takes things in, we call those inputs, and it puts things out, those are the outputs. For instance, a plant's inputs are CO2 and water. Its outputs are food and oxygen. A consumer, like us, our inputs are food and oxygen. Our outputs are CO2 and water. You're starting to see a pattern here, right?
And this brings us to the single most important rule of this entire system. Seriously, if you remember one thing, make it this. The outputs of living things become the inputs of other living things. It's that simple, that elegant. It's the principle that connects everything together. Nothing, and I mean nothing, goes to waste. And now look what happens when we start connecting those arrows, linking the inputs and the outputs. The full picture just snaps into focus. The carbon dioxide that an animal breathes out, an output, becomes the essential input for a plant. A dead plant, itself an output, becomes the input for a decomposer. The decomposer's outputs, like CO2 and nutrients in the soil, become the inputs for new plants. It's one big, beautiful, self-sustaining loop.
Okay, now that we understand how the system works, we can finally go back and solve our mushroom mystery. Let's follow the journey of just one single carbon atom and see if it can really get from that fungus all the way to you.
All right, let's trace this journey together. Step 1. Our little carbon atom is just hanging out, locked inside a dead log. A mushroom, our decomposer friend, comes along and starts digesting that log for energy. Step 2. As the mushroom breathes, it releases our carbon atom into the air as part of a carbon dioxide molecule. Step 3. A plant nearby sucks that very CO2 molecule out of the air.
Through photosynthesis, it uses our carbon atom to build a brand new sugar molecule inside, let's say, a leaf of kale. And finally, step 4. A person, a consumer, eats that kale, and boom, just like that, the very same carbon atom that was once in a log, then a mushroom, then the air, is now a part of you.
So the answer is a huge, resounding yes. It's not just possible, it is happening all the time, all around us and inside of us. The atoms that make us who we are, they're really just visiting. They're on a much, much longer journey than we are.
Now, this is more than just a cool science fact. Understanding this cycle really changes how you see the world and your place in it. It's what I like to call the Great Cosmic Recycle, and it has some really deep implications.
And here it is, the most amazing part of all this. Every single atom that makes you you, the carbon in your cells, the oxygen in your lungs, the calcium in your bones, it's all been around for billions of years. These atoms are ancient travelers, just being used over and over and over again. So what does this all mean? Well, for one, it means that in a healthy, natural system, there's really no such thing as waste. Every single output is a precious input for something else. It also means that the amount of matter on our planet is finite. We have to work with what we've got, and nature has perfected the system for using it. And finally, and this is the part that will really bake your noodle, the atoms in your body have an unbelievable history. They've been parts of stars, of rocks, of dinosaurs, of ancient trees, and who knows what else.
Which really just leaves us with one last incredible thought. You are a temporary collection of ancient, well-traveled atoms. You're part of a cycle that's billions of years old and will keep on going long after you're gone. So the next time you look in the mirror, just ask yourself, what amazing stories could my atoms tell? What were they up to a million years ago?